Hi all. Well, February, we've got that far. Heady highs of 5 degrees C today, I think. So, you know, fairly chilly. Although, there are people who have it worse than me. There's good old Panu up in Finland there who, I don't know how he manages to build a boat in the winter. I think it's not easy. Anyhow, been in the house doing a few things in there because of, you know, the time of year and whatever. For example, varnishing simply won't dry outdoors, you know, or in the shed or whatever. It just, you know, just sits there for a week staying sticky. So I had the new tiller indoors, varnished that. That's now completely finished. And I also gave the old tiller a good sand, and I am working some coats up on that, so that's all coming on nicely. And another project I've been doing in there recently is a bit of sewing. I had a couple of sewing projects that I wanted to do, I'm going to show you. The first of those is to make a cover for the tiller pilot ram, and the second one was to make a cover for the tiller. Actually, the tiller pilot ram is water resistant and not waterproof, so they recommend, as they do for all tiller pilots, actually putting some kind of cover over there. And the tiller, I just wanted a cover that I could slide on when it's not in use, just to keep the sun off it a bit, make the varnish last a bit longer. Now, one thing I have to remember on the tiller when we get that far is that there are going to be a couple of cleats on the side of the tiller that the lines from the Windvane trim tab will tie off to, and which will also double up as making it possible for me to tie the tiller off if I need to for any reason. So it needed to have a little bit of play in it, but I've made it fairly tight, as you'll see. And when it comes to sewing, you'll probably know that it's something that I haven't done a right lot of prior to this project. And I started off sewing the cushions for indoors, and I'm very, very pleased I did that. You know, now I grabbed the old machine and I'm getting better. I'm by no means an expert, let's not pretend that, but you know, it's like all these things. You get in, you do a bit, you try, and your abilities improve. And yeah, as I say, I'm certainly getting better at it, which is nice. So this is the ram element for my new tiller pilot, pelagic tiller pilot. It comes with 3 sections. So you've got the ram that actually does the ramming, you know, pushes the tiller to and fro. You've got the control head where you press well, you switch it on and off and press degrees to change. And you've got a below deck unit, which is probably a compass, I suppose. So this is the rams. I say, and one thing they recommend, as they do with a lot of tiller pilots, possibly even all, is to make up a cover, because they're not strictly waterproof. In fact, if you read up the definition of waterproof in the marine industry, you'll find that very little is in terms of electronic gear. So, got some cloth, got the ram, got the sewing machine out. It's time to do a bit of sewing. Like that. You make that 5 either side. That's there and there. And there. And now we'll throw them two bits away, I suspect. I'm the world's worst sewer, I tell you. Well, it might be worse, I suppose. It's certainly not my strength. How the blazes do I turn this inside out? I think so. Oh, then we'll see if it fits, which is always a big unknown. It seemed to before I sewed it. Although I have done some sewing disasters in my time. Hey! There it is. Yeah, looks alright. So, does it fit? It does, you know. It does. Look at that. I would have that seam at the bottom, I think, when I put it on. Obviously that cloth will loosen up with a bit of on and off in. It's easy enough just to put a bungee or something around that to hold it in place. Well, it might not be the greatest thing you've ever seen, but it fits. Down to about here. Like that, and then down to here somewhere. Like that. Yeah, something like that. That won't be far up. If you see these, I've managed to bend an awful lot of these pins. Karen would have been cross if she saw these. What have you done to my pins? For sure. Oh dear. Needless to say, I hope, I'd rather be told off for bending her pins than the situation we have now. Good, so that's that pinned. Now I'm just going to sew that seam. Let's go see if that fits. Look at that, it's actually pretty good. Oh! Yeah, that's nice. Inside out at the moment, but beautiful. Like that. But now all I've got to do is turn it inside out, which is making progress. Yeah, it's going. In closer. It's the end. Hey! Nice. Just gonna put it on. That's a bit right, isn't it? Yeah, that's lovely. It's good. I like that. Beautiful. So here it is. Yeah, obviously it's fairly long, but fits well. But enough bag in there that I'll be able to get some cleats there. You see there, be able to get some cleats underneath it, and that will keep the sun off nicely. And the cloth I'm using is a waterproof cloth, obviously, and is UV resistant. It's fairly heavy. And the old sewing machine, yeah, the Singer Heavy Duty, which is not an expensive machine, but is working marvellously for me. It's really good. And while we're up here, just swing around, Hazel. While we're up here, this is our upstairs. We bought this place 25 years ago or so, in a state of derelict, almost. Derelict might be a slight exaggeration, but in a state. Up here was, this was completely empty, and behind in the lounge where I do the sewing was a hayloft. It was stacked full of straw. It had no floor, had nothing. So I completely rebuilt all of this. That's what I did before Tapatya. So Hazel's here. You just heard her on the camera. I was talking to her. We're going to give a shout out to these books very briefly. As ever, not sponsored or pushed to do this in any way. I'm going to give a shout out to these because we think they're good. And it's these two. Oh, there we go. We've got Get Real, Get Gone, and
Stay Real, Stay Gone.
Yeah. The first one's written by Rick Page and Jasna Tutor, and the second one is Rick Page. Rick on his own, yeah. So, and in Stay Real, Stay Gone, he actually says that he was inspired by Annie Hill, voyaging on a small income, to write these books, and clearly, you know, they're modern. This one's come out last year, I think, fairly recently, last year or so. Yeah. And so they're an up-to-date take on cruising life, would you say?
Yes, I would say, I would agree with you.
What's the philosophy, would you say?
To not wait forever, to go with it. I mean, he does stress that planning is important, and knowing as much as you possibly can is important, but don't wait for perfection. Yeah. Go.
But he has some quite firm views on what's a good boat for cruising, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, yeah. He has some good tips.
Yeah, and I agree with him entirely. Is what he says about boats and rudders and keels, I agree with 100%, I have to say. And this one, the first one, was kind of an inspiration to you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was.
One of the reasons why you bought your boat, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, why?
Why you chose that boat?
Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, is it?
What, your boat?
Yeah. But it's good enough, isn't it? But no, I mean, that made me want to set off as soon as I possibly could. Yeah. Within reason.
So we recommend them, the two of them, don't we?
Yes,
Those
we do.
two. And well done, Rick. Lovely. That's it. I don't know if you'll see that. Yep, there's one there. It looks very good actually. Looks very good. That one at the very least. Oh, that is in. And now that all rotates together a bit. There, those are coming in there, but obviously this needs to rotate and they need to go under those weights. Clears. So here they are, these three blocks now. I've got one coat of varnish on, clearly a long way to go. But two of them, the two at the back, as I'm looking at it now, and will be at the back when it's mounted on the boat, are high enough that they allow this to rotate inside of them. And the one at the front here is shorter, so that with a wing nut on it, it will clamp down and lock this in position. So you turn it, face it into the wind, and lock it into position wherever you want it. And yeah, bit of mahogany left over from the steps of the companionway steps. Come out well. And that's it for this week. A few things going on. If I just turn the camera around, you'll see the 3 different size vanes being painted. First coat of gloss on there now. So, you know, things going on. I should certainly be up at the boat next week. And I say, that's where we finish. Thank you for watching. As ever, you know, massive thanks to the lovely people who support us on Patreon and via PayPal. You make it all possible. I'll see you next time. Bye.